Canada rolls out mandatory digital ID for welfare recipients. I'm going to stop right there. I want to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Quadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, wherever you might be. And Shalom to the 144,000. It's the brother Amawan Padah from the GMS Denver camp, coming at you with a quick lesson. And as you can see right here, recent news. All right, Canada is excuse me, Canada is making it mandatory. All right, for welfare recipients to receive a digital ID. Now we understand where this is headed. All right. As the true prophets and the men of the Lord, we've been telling you here at Great Millstone that these devils are going to roll out the digital system. It's going to be worldwide. It's going to eventually lead to a mandatory RFID microchip. Everything is leading towards this prophecy taking place. But before we get any further, I want to get a quick precept. And these are the words of our Lord Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus, who was a so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah. All right. And he says this, Matthew 13:16, but blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. All right. This goes out to the elect out there, man, who understand prophecy in its true context. You know, who can understand 100% truth. All right. Who can understand end time prophecy, especially this one. All right. The mark of the beast. All right. The RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. Now, understand that a digital ID on a cell phone, that's not the mark of the beast. But once it's put under your skin, either in your hand or in your head or, you know, wherever, you've received the mark of the beast, man. And that means you're going to be destroyed. Point blank, period. And this is what this devil is easing towards, man. Little by little. But they're actually moving fairly quickly. And, you know, because we're in the last days, man, the Lord is finna make these devils bring forth this prophecy, man, the mandatory implementation of the RFID microchip, whether you believe it or not. All right. Now, let's get into that article. All right. So here it is from the People's Voice. All right. And it says, Canada has announced plans to roll out mandatory digital ID for all welfare recipients in the country, including seniors on old age, security. Okay. So like Social Security over there in Canada. Now, it's no coincidence, man, that these digital IDs are popping up in these different countries, man. And they're speaking of making it mandatory to receive certain quote unquote benefits. All right. You see what I'm saying? You see the pattern here out there in the UK, in you know, Britain, you know, England. They came out and said that in order to work, you're gonna have to have a digital ID. And those who don't receive it are gonna be charged. I believe they said what, £85? That's the currency over there in the UK. All right, for every infraction, you know, that they receive for not having that ID, the digital ID. This is showing you they're trying to force this on the people, man, slowly but surely. The UK, I believe Mexico as well was speaking on digital IDs being mandatory. And now Canada, man, right above the US. And the US and Canada have very close ties. All right. So it's getting closer and closer, man. They're going to make it mandatory here in the US. But yeah, man, let's read a little bit more of this. Okay. Canada's Department of Employment, in a recent note in Prime Minister Mark Carney's 2025 budget, declared that changes will be made to the Department of Employment and Social Development Act, or to the Department of Employment and Social Development Act. The goal of the changes is to enable the delivery of more integrated and efficient services across government. These amendments could benefit all Canadians by enabling the development of more efficient and convenient government services. All right, so they're trying to, market it to you as being more efficient and easy and convenient. You see, they use what they call gradualism. All right, they gradually edge you closer and closer to what they really want you to do, man, which is receiving that RFID microchip. Okay, but anyway, let's continue on. It says, adding modernizing legislative authorities to support information sharing and digital services will particularly benefit groups facing barriers due to outdated paper-based processes, particularly seniors. The note did not give specific details of how Canadians' personal information would be used across government services. However, the recent message comes only a few months after the government hired consultants to investigate a digital ID system. Okay. The Canadian government hired outside consultants tasked with looking into whether or not officials should proceed with creating a digital ID system for all citizens and residents. As per May 20 digital credentials issue memo. What? Salakia, just a weird wording they have there. It says, as per a May 20th digital credentials issue memo, as noted by Blacklock's reporter, the adoption of such a digital ID system may be difficult. Canada's Department of Employment has said that such a digital ID system would not be mandatory and would remain voluntary, quote unquote, and will not replace existing in-person mail or telephone-based services. So that's what they do. They make it voluntary first. They see how many people are going to fall for the shit and go along to get along, and then they eventually make that the standard. All right? That's how it works. That's how they move, man. They use gradualism. Let's get a quick precept. So here we have the book of Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh power had made. And he said unto the woman, yeah, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Now, let's break this down. Now, when it says the serpent, it's not talking about an actual reptile or a fucking boa constrictor talking to a woman. All right. No, it's talking about a man, a serpent-like man. All right. You ever heard in the world, that term, he's a snake? Well, that's how this man was back in the time of Adam and Eve, man. All right. It was a people. And, today the so-called white man is the serpent. That same spirit, man, is on Esau. All right. Cunning and sly. All right. The same spirit that tricked Eve into partaking in forbidden ideologies and philosophies, man. That forbidden fruit. All right. It wasn't an actual apple or a fucking pear. All right. It was talking about ideologies, outside of the will of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. And this is exactly what these devils are trying to ease you towards in these last days by gradualism. All right. Just like a snake, you know what I'm saying? Like a boa constrictor, you know what I'm saying? Or a python. They'll wrap around you and slowly squeeze, all right, until the prey is dead, man. All right. That's what they're doing now with these different implementations of these digital IDs and, amongst other things. All right. They're getting you warmed up to the New World Order, man. That's what they're doing. Matter of fact, let's read a little bit more. Let's read verse 2. All right. It says, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. All right. So the Lord Yahweh, all right, Bashem Yahushua gave strict commandments, all right, to the sons of the Most High not to partake. All right. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, which is a fucking lie. All right. Esau is a liar. Never trust thine enemy, as it tells you in Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10 in the Apocrypha. All right. So the serpent, all right, the serpent like man back then lied and said that ye shall not surely die. But we know that if you partake of this RFID microchip, you're going to surely die. All right. So don't believe these people when they tell you that it's okay to receive the implantable microchip. That's a sure death for you. All right. No question about it. All right. The elect are not going to fall for the shit, man. Lord willing, we're of that number. All right. So back in the article, all right, they're saying it's going to be voluntary at first. All right. But we know where that leads. It leads to mandatory. Now it says, however, as late as February, the Liberal government under former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's immigration ministry, as reported by LifeSite News, was secretly asking Canadians via surveys if they would accept a national identification program that will likely end up requiring each citizen to always have a type of digital quote-unquote passport on them. Come on, man. They're gradually moving towards that digital implant. They want everybody to have that tracking device, that RFID microchip. They want to track you like fucking cattle. That's what the elites want, man. All right. Canada's Privy Council research from 2023 noted that there is a strong public resistance to use the digital IDs to access government services. So people are bucking up against it. And they expect that. All right. They're going to eventually break your ass down, man, when they strip you of your resources. All right. And tell you that you can't have their goodies unless you get this digital chip. All right. You see what's going on here with the EBT food stamps. All right. The government shutdown. All right. Things might reemerge a little different here. There might be some more requirements for you to continue to receive benefits here in the near future, if you know what I mean. All right. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, I don't know how to even pronounce that name, Pierre P, nonetheless sounded the alarm by promising to introduce a bill that would expressly prohibit digital IDs in Canada. Digital IDs and similar systems have long been pushed by globalist groups like the World Economic Forum, all right, Klaus Schwab and them, all right, an organization with which Carney has extensive ties under the guise of ease of access and security. Critics, however, have warned that the purpose of such a system is actually to centralize control over citizens. And that's exactly what it is. Because right now they're doing it in stages. All right. They're going to do it by country. All right. Everybody has their own, national ID according to their country. Then they're going to link it to a global ID. All right. You see? Critics, however, have warned that the purpose of such a system is actually to centralize control over citizens. This opinion seems to be mirrored by the general public, with a Bank of Canada survey finding that Canadians are wary of a government-backed digital currency, concluding that a significant number of citizens will resist the implementation of such a system. Carney has a history of backing central bank digital currencies and supported in 2023 choking off the money donated to the Freedom Convoy protest against, you see that word right there. All right. So anyway, you get the point right here, man. They're moving closer and closer towards this digital system, man. All right. Like I said, over there in the UK, all right, they made it mandatory for you to work. You have to have that digital ID. And now in Canada, they're saying in order to receive welfare or, their form of Social Security, you have to have this digital ID or you won't be able to receive benefits. Come on, man. This is where we at with it. We're in the end, man. Esau's moving. All right. So since I mentioned it, let's, go ahead and prove it. All right. So here it is right here. It says Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. So there you go, man. They're moving forward with the biometric digital, identification. Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law that turned the previously optional biometric-based citizen code into a mandatory document for all citizens. There you go. You see, it's spreading. Why? Because this is prophecy. We told you that they would do this, man. Mexico, we read in Canada they're doing it. All right. So, Laki, let me jump down a little bit because it tells you the date. It says the mandatory CERP will contain personal and biometric information, including a photograph and a QR code containing biometric fingerprint and iris data. The identifier is expected to be introduced gradually to all Mexicans by February 2026. And that's right around the corner. All right. There you go, man. There you go. All right. Fair use. Fair use. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use. I'm not making any money off of this. This is for educational purposes only. Check this video out right here from BBC News.
We start here in the UK on an issue that's divided the country over the last few decades. Every adult will need a new government-issued digital ID to prove they live and can work here. Well, under plans to be announced by the Prime Minister on Friday, the move is part of efforts to crack down on illegal working. Most European countries already require their citizens to hold ID cards, but the UK has long resisted, with concerns over civil rights and privacy issues. Here's our political correspondent, Ian Watson.
ID cards are not a new idea. They were compulsory during the war and not abolished until 1952. The idea was revived in 2005 by Tony Blair's government.
Look into the mirror.
The then Home Secretary was seeing how these biometric cards would work. They were supposed to tackle illegal working and establish entitlement to public services, but the scheme faced technical challenges and political opposition and hadn't been implemented by the time of the 2010 election, when the Conservative Lib Dem coalition scrapped them. And now the idea has been revived under this Labour government. Ministers have been looking at a digital ID scheme in Estonia in Eastern Europe, which is used to access public services. And they believe that attitudes towards ID cards have softened as concerns about illegal immigration have risen. The government's direction of travel has been clear for some time. Earlier this month, Keir Starmer told the BBC why he thought they were a good idea.
I'm determined to stop people making that crossing across the channel and to get people out of our hotels. And therefore I am looking at ID cards or digital ID, because we do need to look at the pull factors.
The Prime Minister believes this is an important weapon in his armoury to tackle illegal immigration, but his idea is creating clear blue water between government and opposition.
Keir Starmer scrapped the Rwanda removals plan without having any other plan in place. He said he was...
All right, so yeah, that's enough of that. You see what's going on. Digital IDs, mandatory, man.
We're to call it the Brit Card. Labour think tank Labour Together has published a paper calling for a digital ID system, and I quote, a mandatory national digital identity that would be issued free of charge to all those with the right to live or work in the UK, whether they are British-born nationals or legal migrants. The Brit Card would be a verifiable digital credential downloaded onto a user's smartphone, which could be instantly checked by employers or landlords using a free verifier app. Quote, by introducing a mandatory, there's that mandatory word again, a mandatory universal national identity credential, Brit Card, the Labour government has the opportunity to build a new piece of civic infrastructure, something that would become a familiar feature of daily life for everyone in the country. It would support better enforcement of migration rules and protect vulnerable British citizens from being wrongly denied their rights. It could end identity exclusion, resolving uncertainty and risk for those whose status is uncertain and providing a quick, secure, privacy-preserving means for everyone to verify their identity and their migration status when dealing with government, when taking up a new job or taking on property. It could lay the foundations for a fully functioning digital identity system that would in time deliver huge benefits in terms of great efficiency and better outcomes in public services, as well as being a driver of growth, building on the existing One Login and gov.uk wallet. Our polling suggests it would be immensely popular. Around 80% of the public support use of digital identity for a range of use cases. End quote. 80% support. I'd say a majority like that would have voted for longer lockdowns as well, and mandatory jabs during the pandemic. Majorities don't get things right. The most you can reasonably say about a majority is that it's just that, a majority.
So yeah, man, you see the point there, man. The mandatory digital ID in the UK as well.
You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Today, I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. The truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. That's right, we're not ignorant of these devils and their plots and schemes, man. All right, we know what they're doing. We know why they're doing this. The Lord has opened our eyes up to see. This is fulfilling end time prophecy, meaning the Lord Yahushua is soon to, appear to rescue the nation of Israel, man, starting with the elect, of course. All right. This is a clear sign that we're in the end and the Lord Yahushua's return is near. All right. So, yeah, man, let's get Revelation 13. Actually, Salaki, real quick, let's get the same verse, 2 Corinthians 2 and 11 in the Good News translation. All right, the GNT, it says, in order to keep Satan from getting the upper hand over us, for we know what his plans are. And a lot of these Israelite groups ain't teaching about this, man. They're not warning their congregation of these things, man. They're getting ready to bring this mandatory digital ID system, man. Digital currency. That look, man, it's coming. We telling you, man. Before it happens, it's gonna come soon. All right? It's biblical prophecy. Now let's get Revelation 13, because in that last video clip, all right, Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister over there in the UK, said you will not be able to work in the UK without this digital ID. So this is Revelation chapter 13, starting verse 15. It says, and he, or Esau, had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, there you go, man. And what is the image of the beast? That's the mindset, philosophies, and ideologies that come along with Esau's system. All right, they want you to get down with their image. They want you to be chipped up, all right, slaves, obeying the government completely, all right, no matter if it's right or wrong. All right, they want you to conform to their image of their beast system. All right. And if you don't want to conform, you don't want to get down. All right. Eventually, they're going to make it punishable by death as prophesied. And you think we're playing, man. Look, it's right here in the scriptures. Watch it roll out, man. All right. You ain't got to believe it, but you will see it. Verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, this is going into the digital implant, the microchip, the RFID microchip. All right, this is what we're warning you about, man. Okay, they're going to make it mandatory. All right, no matter who you are in society, if you want to be a citizen in any of these countries, you're going to have the digital implant that goes under your skin. All right, either in your hand or in your head. There's no coincidence they've been talking about brain-computer interfaces such as the Neuralink, which is the brand that has been talked about a lot by Elon Musk. Neuralink. All right, go look that up, man. We've done videos on this. There's other companies that have brain implants as well, but the main one that they talk about is the Neuralink, man. All right, and they've been testing it on humans. There's humans that have the brain chip already, man, which is the mark of the beast. They're gonna fucking die. All right, you see, but they're making it seem like it's convenient and it's an upgrade, and it's not, man. The serpent is at work. Now check this out. The next verse says this: and that no man might buy or sell, save he or except he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, and we go into that word mark. In the Greek, it's the word charagma. All right, and that is a physical thing. It's not a spiritual mark. This is a physical mark, and we know what it is, man. The Lord has revealed it unto his servants, the prophets, as it tells you in Amos 3 and verse 7. But even a lot of these truthers know what it is, man. All right? You see what I'm saying? So the Lord is making it clearly evident what's, taking place right here, man, and what time we're in, according to prophecy. We're at the end, man. And you're not going to be able to buy or sell without the microchip. Right now, they're telling you you won't be able to work or receive benefits unless you have the digital ID. And that's just a baby step towards what? The implantable microchip, where you won't be able to do anything without that. All right? And many people are going to bow the knee and take it because they want to eat. They want to be able to buy and continue on with their lives, man. All right? This is what we call the hour of temptation. And many who are not strong in their faith, even ones that know that they're Israelites, if they're not of the elect, they're going to be tempted and they're going to fall to that temptation and take the RFID microchip, especially when they make it, punishable by death or imprisonment for not receiving it. You're going to have people folding left and right, man, but not the elect. Let's get a quick precept on this real quick. Hold on. Okay, so check this out. Here we have the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 10. This is the Lord Yahweh Shai speaking in the red letter. And he says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. You see that? It's going to come upon all the world. There's no way you can escape. All right? You can get on the plane and go to Germany. It's going to be there too. You get on a plane or a boat, and go anywhere in the world, all right, where Esau, has how should I say this? Wherever you go, all right, if you want to be a part of this society, this current world society, you're going to have the digital implant, man, in order to participate, because all the elites of these different governments are together on this, man. All right. You see? So understand that, man. This is biblical prophecy. And we're here. All right. But the Lord said he don't keep us, the elect, from receiving that mark, man. Because they're going to say that you can't go into the store. You can't do anything in society. We're going to be outcasts. All right. But the Lord's going to feed his elect, as it tells you in Isaiah 65 verse 13. Okay. My servant shall eat. That's how he's going to keep us from the hour of temptation. He's going to provide our necessities, man, by way of miracles. All right. You see, in divine intervention. This is why you must have your faith built up, man, because the hour of temptation is at hand. And those who don't have true faith in Yahweh Shem Shai and his ability to provide for those who are obedient unto him, they're going to do what? They're going to bow the knee and take the chip to be destroyed, man. That includes your family members, might even be your wife, all right? Your children, if they're of age, all right? The elect are not going to receive it because the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to have his spirit upon the elect not to receive it, even if it means taking the death, all right? And I got one more. We're going to close it. Actually, let's read the next verse, and then I'll jump to another one. The very next verse, Yahweh Shai says, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. That's right. You see, and that crown is talking about salvation, man. All right. That represents salvation for those who endure until the end and keep the faith and remain obedient and don't receive the RFID microchip. All right. Esau's trying to take your crown. He's trying to take salvation away from you. Because if you receive that chip for any reason, you've canceled out your salvation, man. And you're just left to be destroyed. And he knows this. That's why he's going to market it to you like it's convenient at first. Then he's going to make it mandatory and punishable by death. All right. You see, the Lord said, be faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life. All right. Revelation 2, verse 9 on down. I'm going to go ahead and read it since I quoted it. Revelation 2 and verse 10. Also, Lord Yahushua speaking. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. We're going to suffer, man, a little bit. We're going to have to suffer. All right. But it's only temporary, man. All right. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. All right. Some of us might get locked up for not receiving this mark. All right. That ye may be tried. All right. It's a trial of our faith. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days, which is a complete, amount of time. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So there you go, man. The Lord's letting you know that he controls life and death. All right. You see what I'm saying? He can raise you up from the dead. You got to believe in the resurrection. The Lord has the power to raise your spirit up, from death, man. Death is not final. And that's what this damn devil wants you to believe. He wants you to believe that death is a final, thing. That if you, die, then that's just it. No, man. This damn devil don't control life and death. Yahweh, Bashmi Al-Shah, controls that. He's going to show us in these last days, man. You might have men that get put to death for not receiving the mark, and the Lord raised them up right after that. Yeah, man, we get ready to see things such as that, man. All right? So understand what's coming. Understand the seriousness of the time that we're in, and watch how these devils are moving, man. They're moving quickly because now, like I just showed you in the first article, they're making digital ID mandatory, all right, to receive benefits and, and welfare like that in Canada, which is right upstairs from where we're at, man, in the U.S. So it's coming, man. This whole government shutdown is no coincidence. The whole EBT, food stamp benefits, Section 8, being canceled is no coincidence. If it comes back, it's probably going to come back with mandatory requirements, if you know what I mean. So I'm in this lesson right here. Lord willing, it was edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Wadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bashmi Al-Shai, Kwam Yasharallah, and the Bible Ball. Trust in Yahweh, Bashmi Al-Shai. He got us. Shalom to the elect.